Okay, so I guess another question that springs out of this as we start on this series is that, I mean, obviously, I'm a good-looking chap, and
No comments.
but there, I guess there are a lot of Christian ministries and stuff like that have sprung up, and a lot of different Christian channels and Sky and stuff like that. The number just keeps growing and growing, and I guess one concern over that is that whether the people that are in the media in that way, whether it's like kind of a self-serving thing, or why do we even need to do this as a series of podcasts? Is it just about getting our, or is it just about, or is there any part of it that is that about getting our names and our faces out there? I mean, couldn't we just do this, in our local church, instead of like broadcasting it?
The result, whenever there's a platform in any ministry or any church, there's always a danger that's absolutely inherent with that. And certainly, as church leaders, as people that have, although it be an only minute, tiny platform, we need to be acutely aware of that. And with that, obviously, comes self-examination, an awareness of grace and humility, and all of that is absolutely a part of it. But most fundamentally, there are two possible responses. One is that you retreat from it, and then the other response, and what we want to be about as a church, is that dealing with a potentially dangerous area, something like this vodcast, where potentially a few to maybe even many people would be watching it. One would be to run a mile, and the other one would be to try and approach it in a godly way and use it in such a way that Christ gets absolute maximum glory.
I mean, is there any argument for, does it need to, if you talk to about in terms of maybe like branding, I mean, as soon as you kind of talk like that, it's like a business and a marketing term, and obviously the church and business dealings and stuff like that is kind of like a difficult relationship there, isn't it? I mean, is there an argument for any kind of balance? So, for example, this the Firwood Church website, so firwoodchurch.com, the podcasts and stuff like that. These vodcasts, I mean, I don't know about positioning, but I guess there's even like an F logo on the vodcast as well and stuff like that. Is that about just like building up a brand that's recognised, and is there an argument for that, and what's the problems with that as well?
I mean, I think even before you get to the idea of branding and so on, I mean, it's a case of, first of all, I guess, dealing with the medium, isn't it? I mean, what some people would argue is when it comes to church and it comes to ministry, that small is good. And of course, there's the whole house church, house group movement that, if there's more than 8 or 9 of you, immediately it's looked at with suspicion. So certainly there is that feeling out there. I mean, my personal view of it is that what I want as a church, and I don't mean just Firwood Church, but as a church universal, is that we would be out there where people are and where the culture is. And the truth of the matter is, like it or loathe it, the internet is there. People all across the world at this very minute are accessing it. Like it or loathe it, visual medium is king. People will spend more time watching television than next to anything else other than sleeping and working if they have a job. It's just unavoidable. We live in such a visual culture, and what you would hope to do as a Christian is that you could run a mile from that, you could retreat from that, but what I would hope that more and more and more Christians are doing is engaging with that and using it to further the gospel of Christ. Now, how branding fits in with that, I mean, it's difficult because what you want to be doing is you want to be doing things in a way that's excellent. We could do this in a way that was really slapdash and, tacky, and really, would that be communicating the glory of Christ in the best possible way?
No. Would probably not. So, I mean that's kind of the heart and the way that we see Ask progressing, over however long this runs for. It's going to be every week. So we'd really encourage you to click on the website, firwoodchurch.com. But also, if you've got any questions, if you can send them to ask@firwoodchurch.com. If you email those in, we'll be able to start dealing with those over the next few weeks. And as we discussed, any kind of questions that you've got, whether it's about practice in the church and stuff like that, or theological issues or ethical issues and all those kind of things. What we hope to see through these podcasts is people really engaging with difficult questions about Christianity and about life, and hopefully as well finding answers to those questions as well. So visit the website firwoodchurch.com and get your questions in to ask@firwoodchurch.com, and we'll begin to deal with those questions. So do we need like a special ending, like good night from me? Maybe we'll just say bye. So I guess get your questions in, and maybe your question will be next week.